welcome back to Next by TRT World Forum. Hope you are having a fabulous time here today. I am Kübra Akkoç, a journalist at TRT World. Before we continue with the sessions and panels today, I'd like to remind you that please don't forget to share your thoughts and opinions on Twitter with us, tweeting with hashtag TRT World Forum Next. Now, our session is called Transforming by Design. We have a short video for you. It's now my pleasure to invite Mr. Mehmet Kalyoncu, an architect, businessman, and board member at Kalyon Holding, to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today on such a sunny day in beautiful Istanbul. I would like to share my opinions about design and its important role on transforming our lives, our built environment, business world, and the humanity. I studied architecture, so I had a formal design education, but I wasn't able to practice design because I needed to be involved in my business, which is developing infrastructure, energy, and real estate. So it gave me a chance to see, as a designer, the impact of design on business. I also worked with many designers, from designer of Ferrari to design team of Louis Vuitton, designers from Asia, from United States, and of course from Turkey, and I see how they approach to the problems. But when we look design, when we search at the Google, the first thing someone would do, that we see nice colors and nice objects that come together. Of course, this is an area of design, which is graphic design. But I think design has a better role in our world. Designers design automobiles, buildings, anything you can touch or see physically, but design is also a way of problem solving. When we look at designers, we see them wearing black clothes, having round, cool glasses, having interesting pencils, and designing something creative on their big MacBooks. But this is the designers in magazines. I think what is valuable about designer is how they approach the problems. They simplify, because today we have limited resources and limited times, and problems doesn't wait for us to be solved in a time. So, and solving a problem sophisticated doesn't make it valuable. I think the most valuable and most effective way is the simplest way. Designers imagine every detail in their minds first. This brain exercise is very valuable. They see the end product in their dreams before designing it on the paper or on the computer or becoming it a reality. This increases the capacity of our brains to design and solve problems. They care about details. And when solving problems, each and every step we see new details to be solved. But each detail needs a different approach. In the same time, we should solve these details in a bigger context. So it's important that designers take details into very seriously. But they don't get lost in details. It's a cliche, but it's true. They see the bigger picture. Solving problems in different scales is a very important skill that designers do. When we design a building, we design the facade, but the windows on the facade should be able to get the sunlight into the room, so we should design the room inside. But also, we should design the building in a relation with the neighborhood, and in other scales, there are many details should be solved while designing a building. Designers don't wait until the end of their design stage to create something, to produce something. When they have something enough on their hands, they start producing. And they involve others' ideas into the design stage, which is user feedback. And also, designers never think that their design is enough or their design is done. They have the motivation to make a better one, create a better one. So they work iteratively, which is very important. The first thing at architecture school that we have been taught is form follows function. Creating something beautiful doesn't make any sense if it doesn't solve a problem or it doesn't ease our life. And also, design is not only a good packaging, it should make something easy. It should help us in our lives. And remember, every design, in the end, is for humanity. So understanding the human in every aspect, emotional, physical, or in other spiritual even, is very important for designers to design a better product. I think one of the best designers are children because they observe very good. Some things that we don't pay attention are very important for children. You might see that the children is stuck with something and you can not get him or her from it, that they see these details or these things that grown-ups doesn't. So when we grow up, it is important that we don't lose observation skills. These are the fancy things, but it's hard work, like everything. There is a very big effort behind it on every design, and designers should be patient. Also, it is important that as designers, that we convey our emotions, our ideas to the audience. Feeling something or thinking about something important doesn't make it important. Someone else should agree with you. So we see in the world that there are many good ideas doesn't become reality, and some of them only can become reality. So making good presentations is another important aspect of designers. So how designers do this was being researched by academia from 1940s. And these are the concepts that had been discussed in literature. It became from productive thinking to creative engineering to design thinking. The first design thinking conference was held in Netherlands in 1991, more than 20 years ago. But did it really change something? Do we think that design thinking can solve humanity's problems? Let's take a better look. This was the scheme that had been produced by D School in Stanford, that they say there are 5 steps of design thinking: empathy, characterization, idea, prototype, and testing. How these can be involved in real life is something I will discuss further. But design thinking is very interesting, I think, because we don't hear music thinking or engineering thinking or medical thinking, but why do we hear design thinking? Is it because to make someone famous? I remember the famous article of Harvard Business Review, I think it was in 2018, that they made a very big focus on design thinking. But how it changed the world, how it helped? It came into business world with these. Most of you might have seen these design thinking workshops that had been held by moderators, experts, to solve problems or be creative, be together, collective creativity, ideas, concepts like this. But design thinking with these 5 steps, I don't think it's enough to change our future. You cannot change something if you don't have a strong team. I don't think Steve Jobs became successful without a good team, including designers. We know that he had calligraphy classes, so it helped him to invent iPhone. And I don't think most of his team agreed with him by his idea of a phone that doesn't have any buttons on it. He had been very stressful by managing this criticism, but he was determined that he believed in his idea, made him believe in his idea. He did this by a good communication with his team and with the audience, so it became a reality. I think design thinking and creativity should be supported with leadership to really solve humanity's problems, and this would give us creative leadership. What creative leadership helps us is it enables us to produce soft power. No one was forced to buy iPhones. No one has been told to buy iPhones. We wanted to buy iPhone, but it helped United States soft power to increase. Of course, we see old forms of power today, unfortunately, still active. Nations, countries still fight each other with these old forms. But is it enough? I don't think so. If you don't have economic power, if you don't have cyber power, if you don't have soft power, you cannot survive as a nation. And I think Turkey, we are paying attention to increase our power in these all aspects. And this was our mindset when we started to build the world's largest airport. We didn't want to just build a new airport. There are many airports around the world. It has been called, the biggest airport in the world, but I don't think it's very important. Someone can do a bigger one upcoming years. We thought our objective is to help our nation's soft power. That's why we take very seriously about details, like designers. Very important detail is how people, in our case passengers, experience the airport. It's a very big structure. Maybe some of you had been experienced by coming to Istanbul. How can we create a balance between a person with such a big structure? So we tried to solve this problem by creative leadership. There is a very big structure, but there are very small stories. I think each and every story is very valuable as the airport or the building itself. How we did this? I would like to share with you. Someone inspired us. Maybe some of you doesn't know. This person is a musician, very cool person. Unfortunately, he passed away. By the way, I think music has an important role also in creative leadership by touching to emotions. And design and music has some things in common. This person became a public figure. He was being loved by the vast majority of our nation. How did he do this? I think it's because by touching to children and their families. He became friend with children. He became friend with their families. And we wanted to become friend with our passengers. And by starting with the smallest ones, with children's. Our idea was that if we gain the heart of the children, we gain the heart of mother. If we gain the heart of mother, we gain the heart of whole family. And with families, we can make this airport be something that would be loved by the vast majority of Turkey and our passengers. We paid attention to the details of families that have problems while they travel. We create best environments in the world for children to enjoy with their families at our airports, and these are free. And one of our most important guests is children that has disabilities. You know, these children are very unique, very special, and they become frustrated or become stressed, anxious very easily. So it's important that these children should travel very fast in a silent environment, which is designed especially for them, and increase their mobility. We call this program a very important guest protocol. So these people are the VVVIP of our airport. But also we have guests from many other backgrounds, from other nations. So we have the duty to maybe show them how Turkish hospitality is, how Turkey became with its heritage, with its history. So we have a museum which has pieces from most of the museums in Turkey. So we created the first of its kind, a museum of museums. We wanted to make a better context by establishing IGA Art, which is also including young designers and young artists to create something for Istanbul Airport. We made a competition for the artists that are under 35, and we had many applications, and the winner's idea will become a reality. We deployed this idea to somewhere very problematic at our airport, which is under surface of a viaduct, which is concrete. So we wanted it to become a better environment by art and design. This program was in collaboration with Turkey Design Council, which I am one of the founders in 2016, with my friends, which we believe design is very important. So from 2016, we have been working on projects. One of them is contribution of public to the decision-making process of public areas. This is a very good example of creative problem solving by including public. Another thing is we believe design should be taken out of its comfort zone. Design should help us to cope with our problems today. And one of the biggest problems of today is migration. We traveled to Gaziantep and tried to make a framework to solve the problem about including Syrian guests in Gaziantep. We designed a framework of a new city that should be established. It didn't become reality at that time, but today it is being discussed for northern Syria to involve Syrian refugees, Syrian guests, and use the power of design, of course, engineering and technology, to help this problem. It is also very important for us to make an awareness about the potential of design. Of course, I don't agree that we become design thinker by only taking a course or after a workshop or a webinar. I think designers pay a lot of effort, thousands of hours. By that, they become such good problem solvers. But people can find their ways to learn something from that process and try to practice the best practices that good designers do. That's why we created the first program for business world for strategic design and management program. This program made us very happy. because traditional crafts are not as popular as they were, and some of them are at risk of losing. So we did this program. We made manuals, handbooks of these crafts. We published them to the Europe and included European designers to use these traditional crafts for their design. They got together with Turkish crafts people and European designers, and we made Turkish crafts a topic of contemporary arts or contemporary goods, so that we can save them by being as popular as they were again. This program is for children between 6 to 18. We give the education of design and architecture from age 6 in Turkey, which is the first. And also Istanbul is a very good city to be a designer because there are many problems should be solved. In our built environment, the traffic environment itself. So designers should pay attention to these problems. But no one will tell you, come solve this problem. And telling, tweeting about problems doesn't solve it. What we need is to propose new ideas, new options on the table. I can say, I don't like this, but if I don't propose a better one, will it change? I don't think so. That's why we took responsibility and designed something with the public, with the decision makers and experts in many areas of Istanbul. This, of course, was able by a good team behind our foundation with our volunteers. So we still believe that Turkey has a very big potential by using design to create a soft power because Turkish people are good problem solvers also, and when they become designers, so it will increase the capability. I would like to thank all of you, and I wish that you enjoyed the presentation, because we believe that design has a role that unify all the people and make the world a better place. Thank you very much.
Çok teşekkürler. I'd like to thank Mr. Mehmet Kalyoncu for his valuable insights. So it was a pleasure to have you on the program. Now I'd like to kindly remind you that you can download TRT's trivia app, TRT Bil Bakalım or TRT Bil Bakalım, and play quizzes, take quizzes, play games under the next section.